with academia, professionals, as well as youth within the Krishna consciousness movement. He was initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami in 1986, and he received sannyasa initiation from His Holiness Jagataka Swami in 2009. So it's been a pleasure. He's my godbrother, and I haven't seen him for over 5 years. So to reunite with him was really a big pleasure for myself, but also the devotees that got a chance to meet him, I think really enjoyed their time with Maharaj. And it's been a great fortune. I hope he's able to come back and visit us again sometime soon. He'll be here, he'll be leaving tomorrow. But I want to, now that we're here at the Sunday Feast, help me give him a very warm Philadelphia welcome. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you everyone for coming. And I don't remember when I came to Philadelphia last time. 2018. Okay. Yeah, pretty long, you know. Alright, so we'll call for the benedictions of the higher names, the Supreme Personality of God, and the deities to help channel our energies appropriately for collective spiritual growth in this before we go into the discussion. Jai Radha Madhava Kunjali Hari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjali Hari Gopi Jana Bhakti Vasudeva Gopi Jana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sila Abhacharam Vintam Bhakti Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa. Paribhakacharya Astotra Tatsi Siman Divine Grace, the Practice Siddhanta. Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai. Namacharya Sula Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Pransi Kahau Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Si Advaita Gadathar, Si Basari, Si Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Si Radha Krishna, Gopal Gopinath, Syamakunda, Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Si Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Si Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Si Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Our glory is to the summer devotees. Our glory is to the summer devotees. Our glory is to the summer devotees. Our glory is all glory to Sister Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So, point of departure in our discussion today is from the Bhagavad-gita. It's on the screen there. Bhagavad-gita chapter 9, text 34. The title of this chapter is The Most Confidential Knowledge. Manmana Bhavama Bhakto Mam Yaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Evasyasi Yuktraivam
Atmanam Matparayanaha. Manmana Bhavama Bhakto. Matyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vasyasi Yuktaivam. Atmanam Matparayanaha. Manmana Bhavama Bhakto. Mamiyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vasyasi Yuktaivam. Atmanam Matparayanaha. Could someone try?
Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto. Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vaishasi Yuktaivam. Atmanam Matparayanaha.
Ladies? So word for word translation and purport. By divine grace is confounded child, Srila Abhacharya Navina Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right, you got it. Manaha. Always thinking of me. Bhava. Become. Mat. Mine. Bhaktaha. Devotee. Mat. Mine. Yaji. Worshipper. Mam. Unto me. Namaskuru. Offer obeisances. Mam. Unto me. Eva. Completely. Eshasi. You will come. Yuktva. Being absorbed. Evam. Does. Atmanam. Your soul. Matparayanaha. Devoted to me. So let's listen to the purport with rapt attention, because that is sum and substance of what Krishna is saying here. On our own, we don't really understand what he's talking about here. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Please kindly responsibly repeat. Engage your mind always in thinking of me.
Engage your mind always in thinking of me.
Become my devotee.
Become my devotee.
Offer obeisances to me.
Offer obeisances to me.
And worship me.
And worship me.
Being completely absorbed in me.
Being completely absorbed in me.
Surely you will come to me.
Surely you will come to me.
Purport. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Kuma Purana, as it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhasha comments on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Lila, verses 41 to 48. Dehadehi vibido yam nishware vidyate kwashit. This means that there's no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know these signs of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the signs of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demoniac. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kansa, Krishna's uncle. He was always thinking of Krishna. He was also thinking of Krishna, always. But he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna consciously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher, bona fide spiritual master. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material. It is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise, from the wrong source, will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds and thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 processes in the 9 different processes or devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad-gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahma Jyoti and localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall down from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfectly saintly, to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. And happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the Supreme Award. What is that Supreme Award? It's interesting how Prabhupada puts it. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-gita in the matter of the most confidential knowledge. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Saksol Meditam Gyana Tasmai Sri Gurave Sachaitanya Namavistam Safitam Gyana Putari Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadata Swam Padantakam Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda. So hold it up. Dadaya Puspa 1 to Chita Chanda tomorrow. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Vasadi Sri Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itina, Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane, Nirvisesa Sanyam Bhari Pasatya Disatara. Vanchakalpatari Cha, Kripa Sunam Vyayevacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavibhyo, Namo Namaha. I was looking at the time and it's almost finished. Purport is pretty long. So, again, welcome everyone for coming to participate in this Krishna consciousness. Today is Sunday, and you could have chosen to go to some other social function, but you chose to come to a social spiritual function, which is good. We stand to benefit when we come into this type of sangha or association, because the people we associate with determine what we are going to be. The people we associate with determine the type of values we will be absorbing and radiating and giving to the world. So when we encounter a devotional assembly, when we come to the temple to have darshan of the deities, when we come to have association, come to participate in the kirtan, if you come to participate in the kirtan, you know what you've done. You have actually perfected your the purpose of your life. That is the prime objective of all human beings. That should be the prime objective of all human beings. See, when we get a job, we get employed, we have job descriptions. This is your limits and delimitations of your job. And so there is a mark here, a mark there. We also have limitations and delimitations of our human functional connotation. Whatever we are doing, if it doesn't fall within that limitation and delimitation, we will only be making ourselves vulnerable to endangerment. In fact, we could end up becoming endangered species if we don't align ourselves with our prescribed duties in devotional culture. And so, this text is giving us some insight. This is spoken by Lord Krishna himself. And Lord Krishna is mentioning here how we can develop love for him. We are all engaged in thinking about somebody. We're thinking about something. And just like Papa mentioned the Papa, we can think about somebody, if even we don't like the person, if even we hate the person, we can think about if even we hate somebody, we can be thinking about it. We can be addicted to thinking about somebody even we hate. Antithetically, we can be so much absorbed in thinking of somebody that is so dear to us, that we love dearly. And so thinking has to be there. We have to observe. There is nothing we can do about that. We will think of something. We will think about somebody. And we will try to give our love to somebody. And we will try to love somebody. We will expect somebody to love us. Sometimes we invest our love in the wrong places. And sometimes it could really be catastrophic when we invest our love in the wrong places, in the wrong persons. And when we do invest our love and services in Lord Krishna, we will never become broken-hearted. There's no question of broken-heartedness. This is a guarantee. Every other investment you make as far as love and service is concerned, you are prone to broken-heartedness at some point in time. If we live in this material world and we don't invest our love properly, we could blame ourselves. And the only person that will never, never, all in capital letters, that will not disappoint us, that will always appreciate what we have done for him, is Lord Krishna. Because, take for instance, a young girl, maybe, they graduate from college, got a good job, looking for a husband, got married, and then sometimes they think, well, but the goal of my life is fulfilled. I've achieved my goal. But, something happened, and there is catastrophe. And then she says, get off my life. Or he says, get off my life. The same situation permeates all over the universe. We may get the best job we'll be looking for. And then there is redundancy. Companies close down. And you find yourself without a job. And so we can't really invest our energies in anything in this world without, being prone to some distant consequences. It's only Krishna. It's only Lord Krishna that we can invest in, and we will never be disappointed. I'll give you an example. There was a lady, she was not even, a sadhaka, she was not practicing. This happened in India. So when Prabhupada was setting up the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, he needed someone to sponsor one set of those deities, either Krishna Balaram, Radha Swamasundar. So This lady, she was a princess at the time. So she sponsored the deities. And when you do that type of high profile devotional service, so sometimes people don't really know what they have done. So she sponsored the deities in Vrindavan, the other Samasunta deities. So time passed, she got married, and time passed, she got old, and she was about to leave the body. So she told the president of the temple, Calcutta temple, I need the presiding deity's picture of this temple. And the president went to search all over the place. Amongst the devotees, they couldn't get a picture of the presiding deity picture. And she's about to leave. However, the president found a deity picture in his house. And that deity picture was not their presiding deity. It was Radha Simasunda in Vrindavan. So he was a little bit, hesitant to even bring the picture because the lady was expecting him to bring the presiding deity of their temple. So he went before this dying lady and then he said, Ma, I couldn't find her presiding deity picture, but this is the same Krishna. Have it. And the lady busted out. He said, oh, Krishna is so amazing. I sponsored these deities, and as I'm dying, Krishna came to me. Whatever service we do to Krishna never goes in vain. We may even forget, but Krishna comes to the rescue at the dear time of need. This is why, some of us have dedicated the whole of our lives in the process of, helping to redirect this misdirected civilization. That the world is replete with everything you can think of. The only thing that is lacking in the world is Krishna consciousness. People are devoid of Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are not happy. In the last paragraph, Prabhupada mentioned something very interesting. You can be happy even in this world when you are engaged in Krishna consciousness. We're looking for happiness. Here is just a simple formula. Here is a simple strategy to be happy. And so, Krishna is letting us understand how we can align with Him, how we can love Him. If we can just practice to remember Krishna, we may not be able to remember Him 24/7. He's mentioning here, always. And sometimes we hear people say, oh, I'm crazy about that guy. Oh, the boys that say, I'm crazy about that girl. What do? They are always thinking about their lovable object. So, this is not something strange to us. If we love somebody, we think about that person. So, if we practice how to love Krishna by always thinking of Him, mana, engage your mind in thinking of me. Bhakti. Be my devotee. He didn't say be a devotee of some devata. Why? Because Krishna is too, Bhagavan Swaya. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or even all the devatas are emanations from Him. And therefore, it's a very simple process. We should not try to make it complicated. And you can be a true lover of Krishna, a staunch lover of Krishna. You are not required to give up anything. Just practice how to love Krishna by thinking of Him. And the simple way to think of Krishna in this age in this plastic age. I don't call it Kali Yoga. I think that iron is far away from us. Iron age is even far away from. We are in the plastic age. So, in this plastic age, the way we can really develop love for Krishna is to chant his names. Simple and pure. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we glorify Krishna, we will be getting close to him. If we are glorifying Krishna, we are thinking of him. And I was just listening to one of Prabhupada's lectures. He said, you want to control your senses? Come on, it's very easy. Think about Krishna. Chant Krishna's name. At the time you're chanting, your mind is becoming absorbed in the holy name or on the holy name. You will not feel lonely. Sometimes people complain, I feel so lonely. No, you chant Krishna's name. I was speaking with somebody in Geneva, in Switzerland, when I was coming from India, so I stopped over in Switzerland. Some people were recounting their own lived experiences in devotional service, especially in chanting. And one of these ladies, I think she's a professor in the university there, and so she said, I used to feel lonely before, but when I came and started chanting, that loneliness has completely, it's been thrown into the trash bin of history. Yes, so when we chant Krishna's name, we are directly associated with Krishna. Prabhupada mentioned Krishna is absolute. The problem is that we have a lot of commentators who misdirect the reader, who misdirect aspiring devotees from taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Some of the commentators, they ascribe the concept of surrender to Krishna as being a surrender to the inborn in Krishna. So Prabhupada debunked that idea here. He said Krishna has no mind. His mind and his body, is one and the same. He's a spiritual entity, pure spiritual entity. We have mind, intelligence, false ego. We have different material bodies, Bhumi, Apa, Nala, Vayu. Because these are the elements that are covering our spirit identity. Krishna has no material elements. And therefore when some commentators say surrender to Krishna means surrender to the inborn in Krishna, they are offenders. They are personalities. They are offenders. Because it's trying to minimize somebody. I mean, it's like, you go to some place and maybe you're a doctor and someone thinks that they are dressing you very nicely by calling you Mr. Govinda. And then you see some of these scholars, they feel insulted. They say, come on, are you changing my name? Yeah, they will ask you. So people try to manipulate others instead of allowing the inquirer, allowing the aspirant devotees to be able to tailor their activities, tailor their mind, their thoughts, their vision towards Krishna. These rascal interpreters or commentators, they say completely something different. And therefore Prabhupada, he calls them rascals. If we don't know somebody, we may not know what they hold or where their bank balance is, which bank they operate. If we're close to somebody, we'll know. If you have a child who is very dear to you, you tell them your bank, where you bank your money. If you have a spouse who is very dear to you, you show them your checkbook. I think in America, most of the people, they give their spouses their checkbooks to hold, isn't it? So that is love. That is sharing and caring. You don't hide things from your spouse. You don't hide things from your lovable kids. And therefore, it is only the pure devotee who is close to Krishna, who knows Krishna far more than we can think of, and it is his position. It is his disposition to be able to share the spiritual information culture about Krishna and Krishna consciousness. That's why we need to hear from a bona fide spiritual master. Papa said we have to learn from a teacher or a bona fide spiritual master. And so it is a very simple process, and we stand to benefit. If we align with this process, we can reap the results. Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada mentioned a number of times in the text, in the purport, Krishna consciousness is a science. I can share with you how I resonate with that. Even the inauguration of the Holiness as Yuga Dharma is based on scientific values. It's based on the principle of the theory of synergy. Synergy means that when two or more people come together to engage in a particular project, the result is always greater than individuals separately engaging or performing that act and bringing the individual results together. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Is it understood? Synergy implies that when people come together to do something, the productivity, the result is always greater than individuals doing that same thing separately and bringing their results together. The Krishna consciousness movement, the Sankirtan movement, is based on the principle of synergy. Science. That's it. This is science. All right? And even the chanting, it has been proven beyond all reasonable doubt how to remember Krishna, how to love Krishna, to think of Krishna all the time. What is the benefit? What is the benefit of thinking of Krishna all the time? In other words, what is the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna? Chanting Krishna's name all the time. There are mental health, forget about going back to Godhead. Because Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, if we engage in Krishna consciousness, we can be happy right here in this world. Before we go to Krishna Loka, even in this world, we can be very, very happy. And so, one of those things that brings to bear is that this process of devotional service, or specifically remembering Krishna by chanting his holy names, it has side effects. The chanting has side effects. Like every other intervention. We have allopathic interventions. And even the ordinary painkiller you buy on the shelf without a doctor's prescription, if you take it beyond a particular limit, it will have an effect, negative effect on your liver. Side effect. It will reduce your headache immediately, but if you go on taking it, you're going to have some dismal consequences. So, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, which is the prime, the pivotal point of remembering Krishna in this age, the chanting also has side effects, but positive side effects. One of the positive side effects is, imagine how you're trying to love somebody and all that you can get is, gain. You can count on your gains by trying to love somebody. Who will not be interested in that type of relationship? You don't get hurt, but all that you derive from that relationship is positive gains. So one of the positive gains that we derive in trying to love Krishna by chanting his holy names is, or try to remember Krishna always by chanting his names, is that we have a functional mental health. Functional mental health. Improved mental health. And scientists have conducted researches on this very concept, on this very phenomenon of how the chanting of the Hare Krishna helps to improve mental health. I remember there was one devotee in Florida. He conducted this research on how the chanting of the holy names helps to mitigate stress, anxiety, and depression. Some scholars in Chennai area, they just concluded a research that was published in a peer-reviewed journal on how chanting helps to mitigate stress and anxiety amongst nurses in the Chennai area. So these are all positive impacts of the Hare Krishna mantra. You're trying to love Krishna, you're trying to chant His holy names. These are some of the things we get by the side, positive side effects. So in this endeavor to try and remember Krishna, to think of Krishna, to become His devotee, it is a favorable. We have received all the favors that we can think of. We get all of the benefits that we can think of. What is even more beneficial to humans than mental health? You need mental health to be able to function in this world. And that is just one of the side effects of becoming engaged in thinking of Krishna by chanting Krishna's names. So to be a devotee, it looks like it's fun, but there are a lot of benefits that comes with taking a step, taking a bold step forward, making a resolute determination to become involved in regular participation in associations with Krishna's form, with Krishna's holy names, coming to have do some services in devotional service. Because a devotee basically means one who is serving Lord Krishna. And when we serve somebody, what traditionally happens is that you are consolidating a bond. When you receive service from somebody, you are taking a responsibility to protect that person. So when we render service to Krishna, that facilitates our thought of Him as He requires or as He demands. Manmana, Bhavaman. Thinking of Him in a positive way. We can only do that through the many services that we have in the temple. And to top it off is with the holiness. And so we encourage everyone to try to love Krishna by thinking of Him. At least for those who are initiated, it is very compulsory by dint of their practice that they have to engage in thinking of Krishna, whether consciously thinking of Krishna, at least 1 hour. Some people, they use 1.5 hours, 145 minutes, or 2 hours. And we have 24 hours. Krishna has given us 24 hours free of service. No bills. We don't pay any bills. The 24 hours is gratis. And so if we have to just give 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes, or 1 hour 45 minutes, or even 2 hours, what is the loss? So we should be reasonable. We should appreciate what we have and engage. If we have not started, we should start it now. I've been in the process for 40 years. 40 years. So if it is not something, exciting, I don't think I'll be there. Oh yeah. So, any comments or questions? Yes, please.
Maharaj, thank you so very much. I was so excited over here in this corner, listening to the things that you were saying, how you and Krishna, Guru and Krishna, they come together and they're so merciful. So, first you were saying that all you have to do is take to this Krishna consciousness movement. And for someone to say that, it's a pretty bold statement. You just say it with such simplicity, that okay, that's all you have to do. But then Krishna, remembering Krishna said, Nama 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 Bhakto, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me. And you, earlier you were talking about absorption. You gave the negative explanation, how when you hate someone, you're absorbed. And then you began to explain to us in a very wonderful way how if you do these things, you become absorbed in Krishna. And you were telling us how Krishna loves us. Then you put the test there, the challenge. Just do this. And the mental anxiety that most of us go through at some point in life, but if we chant Hare Krishna, then not only will we stop the anxiety of the mind, but the other things that we don't have that much faith in, that they'll be opened up to us if we do the simple task of chanting Hare Krishna. I thought that was so wonderful. I thought it was a great challenge.
Thank you.
And if you would elaborate more on the process, please take the time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. The process is pretty easy. According to scientific research, the best hours of the day to be productive in innovations is the early morning hours before sunrise. And that research also it resonates with the Vedic literature assertion that the most productive hours to engage in sadhana bhakti or engage in this remembering of Krishna by chanting his names is 2 hours or so before sunrise. So the best hours to do this chanting is to do it during the early morning hours of the day. And that time, that period is governed by the mode of goodness. There are 3 modes of nature. And so the mode of goodness facilitates better concentration and peace of mind in the process of trying to remember Krishna. And that means we have to be a little bit regulated. We have to know that we need to go to bed on time. See, spiritual life is about self-regulation. And self-regulation is a big theme in management science. There are theories on self-regulation. And yet Krishna puts it in a very simple way in the Bhagavad-gita 6:17. Yuktahara vihara sya. We have to regulate our eating, our sleeping, our recreation. So if we go to bed on time, we will have the energy to be able to, get up early in the morning to do the sadhana before we go out. Doing this, our sadhana or chanting before we go out is like eating before you go to work. If you have to go to work, you have a job, you have to eat. At least you take something liquid or something to drink before you go to work, because your stomach will need something to sustain, for you to sustain energies to be able to work. In a similar way, we need to engage in some eating, spiritual diet, diet therapy, and that is the chanting we have to do. We do that every day before we go out. We see we'll be blissful. The work, the job, or the school, or whatever we are doing, will not see it as a body. We will do it joyfully. So there are best times to do this meditation early morning hour. Prabhupada wanted us to follow that principle so that we can get maximum results. The time is almost up. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to thank Maharaj. Wonderful class. Really, thank you so much. Okay. If anybody would like to speak to Maharaj, he'll be around tonight. He'll be down here. He's up on the second floor on the left. If you'd like to talk to him. We're going to have Kirtan now. Tonight's Kirtan will be led by Adishesha Prabhu.
Krishna Prasthaya. Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Backstage there, first floor. Thank you. We want to give, anyway, thank you all for chanting so nicely. The energy in the room was so high. We had the youth kirtan tonight, Adishesh Prabhu and Sukanya. That was really sweet. Thank you. We want to give thanks. A couple quick announcements, and then we'll go for prashad. We want to give thanks to our sponsor for tonight. And Bhakti Connor sponsored tonight's feast. His nephew, Maddie, it's his first time here at the temple, and he wanted to commemorate that by sponsoring the feast. So I saw Maddie earlier. He hung in there for the whole entire service. So let's give him a big hearty roll. Hare Krishna. I got garland for you. And the fact that you took this garland and not jumped away from it, maybe putting it over means that you really, Krishna's really giving you some special mercy. It's very natural for you. And your Kana's brother, where's your name?
Matthew as well.
Matthew, okay. Good. We're so happy to have you and your wife. I thank you so much for coming tonight. You know, it's really great to have you. And we want to shower our blessings upon Maddie. Let's chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Next Sunday, we're going to get the devotees from Gita Nagari are going to come. It's our local eco farm, and they're going to be giving a presentation on sustainability, cow protection, and the services that they do there at Gita Nagari. Also, next Sunday, we're going to dedicate our bhajans to Lord Ramachandra. So there's a big temple opening in Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Ram on that day. So we're going to dedicate our bhajans to Lord Ram. And then also, we have for all the parents of Sunday schoolers, during the Shabbat time next week, we'll also have our second meeting. So if you're one of those, please mark that on your calendar and remember. Did Interpreter Prabhu, is he here? He's not here, so I'm going to get him to give us a book update, but that's okay, we can do that another time. Last thing I'll say is that you can shut the doors. Shri Gaurnitai ki Shri Radha Sharat Bihari ki. We just got done, starting January, beginning of January, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary of the Bhakti Yoga Studio. It's a project that was taken up by Bhakti Vasudeva and Mother Tiffany, who's just here. She just scooted off. They've been teaching yoga once a week here. And this has been a project to open up, the doors to our community who are interested in practicing yoga. And it's been very successful. We have neighbors, people coming in that would never come really into the temple without taking these yoga classes. And 2, for devotees who want to practice yoga, that may not want to go to a yoga studio, but they want to stay in the Bhakti group, make it available for them. It's a donation-based yoga project. Give what you like. So because of this success that we had, we're offering one more class. Now we're up to 3 classes. So we have a Tuesday at 6:15 with Hosea. If you like to do it during the day, we have Thursday at noon with Bhakti and Tiffany. And then week, anytime you can. It's from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And if you want to get part of our WhatsApp group, you can talk to Mahaprabhu Vish, you can talk to Bhakti Connor, and they can get you hooked up so you can find out what we're doing on a daily basis. Hare Krishna, we're at Prashadam now, and we'll, if you want, we'll be back here again at 7:45 for more kirtan. Hare Krishna.